Imagine this: a nation raw from an election that felt stolen gathers peacefully to voice outrage. Families, workers, patriots drawn not by violence, but by a desperate cry for truth. Then chaos erupts, barricades breached, chants turn to clashes, and suddenly the full might of the federal machine descends. Lives shattered in its wake, thousands arrested, branded insurrectionists, jobs torched, reputations incinerated, families torn asunder by dawn raids and show trials. We were told it was our darkest hour, a mob's unhinged fury fighting against democracy itself. But we were gaslit, lied to from the highest pulpits, manipulated by shadows, pulling strings we weren't able to see, made to feel like villains for questioning the election, shamed into silence while the media megaphone blared insurrection. All right, fast forward to today. The veil has been ripped off. We are now learning that the FBI had embedded 274 plainclothes FBI agents. A bombshell report just leaked, proving all of this. Now, this wasn't just responders to the situation. These agents were woven into the very fabric, mingled with patriots in order to manipulate them into going into the Capitol, destroying the Capitol, and causing chaos. This wasn't organic rage. This was meticulously crafted psyops, orchestrated under FBI Director Christopher Wray, turning law enforcement into provocateurs. Instead of helping the community, they were destroying it in the name of the Democrat Party. The insurrection was a total setup. The real crime? They betrayed us. They betrayed us. And now, with Christopher Wray's predecessor, James Comey, freshly indicted for his own web of deceit, the rot runs deep. Wake up, America. We're being lied to, and I'm going to go through all of the details with you today. First came the gaslighting. The media and FBI spun January 6th as a Trump-orchestrated coup, dismissing his prior peaceful rally as irrelevant. We will now peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol to make our voices heard. This narrative gaslit millions of Americans, ignoring the organic frustration of a disputed election. The human toll? Over 1,200 prosecutions, millions of dollars in wasted money, and heartbreak as some committed suicide instead of facing these fake allegations. Families and businesses were destroyed, reputations burned to the ground. Now contrast that with the 2020 Summer of Love, where actual buildings and businesses were destroyed. Here comes the smoking gun. A 50-page FBI action report released by the Oversight Committee revealed that there were 26 FBI informants in the crowd. We thought, oh my gosh, they said 0, it's 26. Well, now with this new leak, we're realizing it was more than 10 times that, 274 FBI agents. Let me show you President Donald Trump's reaction. Now, keep in mind, Democrats, the mainstream media, the left, everyone on the left tried to craft a narrative that President Trump secretly met with and crafted a takeover of the United States government with help from the Proud Boys. All of that has now been exposed as a giant lie. But let me show you exactly what President Trump had to say about this situation. He said over on Truth Social, it was just revealed that the FBI had secretly placed against all rules, regulations, protocol, and standards 274 FBI agents into the crowd just prior to and during the January 6th hoax. This is different from what Director Christopher Wray stated over and over again. That's right. As it now turns out, FBI agents were at and in the January 6th protest, probably acting as agitators and insurrectionists, but certainly not as law enforcement officials. I want to know who each and every one of these so-called agents are and what they are up to now since this historic day. Many great American patriots were made to pay a very big price, only for the love of their country. I owe this investigation of dirty cops and crooked politicians to them. Christopher Wray, the then director of the FBI, has some major explaining to do. That's 2 in a row, Comey and Wray, who got caught lying with our great country at stake. We can never let this happen to America again. Wow. Powerful words from President Trump. All of the people whose lives you destroyed, I owe it to them to now get to the truth. So I predict we are about to see Christopher Wray hauled before Congress, and they are going to light him up. They are going to rip him a new one. We deserve truth. And every Democrat and every mainstream media piece of crap needs to apologize to us. This was a psyop. This was a special operation against conservative voters, against anybody that likes President Trump. And now Steve Sund, the police chief, that said all of this leads back to Nancy Pelosi and others for this cover-up, for this psyop. General Mark Milley, those that blocked the National Guard, those that tried to lie and say Trump never offered them. Well, my friend John Fawcett over at the Great America Show, he was able to get Chief Steve Sund to come out of retirement. He hasn't talked about this in years. Listen to what he had to say about this new revelation.
Let me ask you this, because to me, on January 6th, you are Chief Stephen Sund. You are head honcho. You are king of the Capitol. You know, it's your responsibility. It's your role to make sure everything's tied down. And you obviously did your job by trying to do your diligence beforehand and were stifled at every single moment, right? So to me, it seems, now I'm not a career law enforcement guy. I've never been in law enforcement. I probably never be in law enforcement. To me, as just a pedestrian, it seems like if I'm the FBI, if I'm the federal government, I'm going to pick up the phone and say, hey, Chief, just want to let you know, we know January 6th is supposed to maybe get a little bit crazy. We'll have 300 agents there for you. There'll be plainclothes. There'll be some guys not in plainclothes. Is that a rational thing for me to be thinking that, hey, we'll pick up the phone and say, hey, Chief, you'll have 300 guys there if you need them. Here's your point of contact for January 6th. Let us know if you need anything else.
Well, take it a step further. If they were saying that they were going to have that group in the crowd already, most likely what they'd do is they'd put a liaison up in my command center. I mean, if you're going to have that type of assets and resources deployed onto someone's jurisdiction, you're going to put somebody in their command center. So that's key.
Wow. You guys, this is more and more looking like Nancy Pelosi, General Mark Milley, other people that run the police. They knew that all of this energy was going to descend into Washington, D.C., over 1 million people. And the plan was to incite them to such fervor that they would go do crazy things. And when they couldn't, they started doing the vandalism and the damage and the chanting and the yelling. Let's go into the Capitol. Let's destroy these people. I'm just going to show you some old footage. I believe that this is an FBI guy in plain clothing who is destroying the Capitol. And once he realizes he's being filmed and a true MAGA patriot is like, don't destroy the building, he immediately starts gaslighting and lying and trying to make this guy look guilty. Check this out.
Do not go in there.
The radio journalist from Michigan was shooting video that day at the Capitol. What he captured were two most charitably called suspicious actors, but they are dressed in such a way that led him to believe that they were government agents. And one of them, after the windows had been broken by a protester, it was encouraging people to to pull the rest of the glass out and go inside. Bobby Powell, who was the journalist that had shot it, and he has his camera rolling, he told him that would be illegal and that wouldn't be a good idea.
They don't care. They don't care. All they wanted to do was make MAGA look crazy, like they wanted to kill people. It's exactly the trap they wanted people to fall into.
He warned people off not to go into that window. And then he turned his camera around and he caught this agent or suspicious actor pulling a large pane of glass out, this tempered glass. It kind of folds into itself, crunch onto the ground. When he realized he was being filmed, he quickly dropped it. It seems apparent on the video that he did not want to be seen doing what he just did.
Of course he didn't. They needed somebody in a red MAGA hat to be doing it. Somebody draped in love of the American flag.
So he pulled in a protester and started blaming him. He said, "What are you doing breaking that window?" The poor fellow that was being accused didn't know what was going on.
Do not go in there. Don't break this. What are you doing? And then what does he do? You did this. Get out of here. And the guy's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So that goes on to basically just show you everything that I explained to you. I mean, this is just crazy that we were gaslit so hard. Now, as a reminder, people were attacked. They threw sound grenades, percussion grenades behind people, flashbang grenades behind people. They shot rubber bullets into the crowd. Why? To make people scared and mad and to push them forward with agents yelling from behind, "Go into the building, go into the Capitol." Hundreds of agents slowly pushing people. Meanwhile, the cops are shooting. I watched one video where a guy literally had his lips blown off with a rubber bullet. He did nothing to the police. This was about invoking a reaction that could be captured on camera. Now, the J6 committee, they knew all of this. They lied to us. And then they crafted a made-for-TV show trial where all they had was a bunch of Trump-hating Republicans and two Democrats and two Trump-hating Republicans, which both lost their seat, Kinzinger and Cheney. And they knew that they lied, and then they destroyed evidence. So it really does make me kind of wonder, like, why on earth did all of those people suddenly need a magic pardon from Joe Biden's auto pen? If they're so innocent and they're so good and they're so noble, why did they need a pardon about everything that they did on January 6th and the evidence they destroyed and the manipulation and the lying? It's because they knew that this stuff would come out. Now, I believe former FBI Director Christopher Wray knew about this operation. And if nothing else, he later learned that there were hundreds of FBI agents in the crowd that behaved badly, and this would reflect poorly on the reputation of the FBI. And President Trump nailed it. Oh my gosh, 2 in a row, Comey and Wray, the way that they are trying to destroy the United States of America. But Congressman Higgins, he was on to them. He knew that there were people being bussed in. Check out what he had to say.
Said he was communicating with his FBI handler while people were entering the U.S. Capitol. Can you confirm that the FBI had that sort of engagement with your own agents embedded into the crowd on January 6th?
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying
not.
no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violent.
Oh, the answer is no. There were none. How dare you question Congressman Higgins? How dare you?
Orchestrated
Let's
by
move
FBI
on.
sources or agents.
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term before.
Okay. Well, it's pretty common in law enforcement. It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes. It's painted over. these two buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chair.
So at 5 a.m., out of nowhere, these unmarked buses roll in and people start pouring out of them in regular clothes, not MAGA clothes, not American flags, not your normal stuff, just regular keep me warm clothes at 5 in the morning to start being mixed into the crowd naturally. So these ghost buses roll in. The director says, how dare you say that? And let me show you another video of Christopher Wray denying FBI involvement.
How many individuals were either FBI employees or people that the FBI had made contact with were in the January 6th entry of the Capitol and surrounding area?
So I really need to be careful here talking about where we have or have not used confidential human sources.
Was there one or more? Was there one or more individuals that would fit that description on January 6th that were in or around the Capitol?
I believe there is a filing in one of the January 6 cases that can provide a little more information about this, and I'm happy to see if we can follow back up with you.
I just want an answer. Was there one or more? I mean, you would know if there was at least one individual who worked for the FBI who entered the Capitol on that day.
I can't, again, I just can't speak to that here, but I'm happy to get the court filing that.
Look, it's been.
I can't tell you whether there's one because there was 274. There wasn't one.
2 years. So I'm going to make the assumption that there was more than one, more than five, more than 10.
That those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th, how many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here. I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
I thought I heard you say you didn't know whether there were FBI agents or informants or human sources in the Capitol or in the vicinity on January 6th. Did I misunderstand you? I thought that's what you said.
Well, I referred very specifically to undercover agents.
Yeah. And so are you acknowledging that?
Oh, they weren't undercover. They were just plain clothed. You see the difference, America?
And there were undercover agents.
As I sit here right now, I do not believe there were undercover agents on scene.
Any
FBI
assets?
Agents.
Did you have any assets present that day in the crowd?
When it comes to what you're calling assets or what we would call confidential human sources, that's a place where, again, I want to be careful. Much as I said in response to an earlier question, there are court filings that I think speak to this that I'm happy to make sure we get to you, assuming they're not under seal. And that can better answer the question than I can as I sit here right now.
So he went on for about 5 hours, gaslighting the American people. Most people saw through it, but at the end of the day, he stuck to his guns and didn't give us the information that we wanted. So he evaded the questions, hid behind the term open and active investigation. I've got to be careful about what I share here. Democrats would have you believe this day was worse than 9/11. The truth is, history will remember January 6th as the day the deep state staged a riot to cover up a stolen election. Unbelievable.